Hello everybody, it's Donna. Welcome back to the Playroom. Today I'm making a card, or I'm recreating a card that I made for a friend of mine that was in the hospital that we weren't able to visit because we were sick. I wanted to use something really cheerful and bright and yellow, so I'm actually using, yet again, another digital, instead of my stamps, because I have like 200 stamp sets, but instead of my stamps, I'm using a digital kit from Scrimping Mummy, and I do believe I mentioned this kit before. This is the whole... She offers a membership, and she has kits that you can get with that membership. That's included in the membership. I hope that made sense. But I'll give her a link in the description below to her coffee site where she sells them, or her YouTube channel. And you should really check her out anyways. This is the whole reason I joined her membership, was because of this kit. And I have yet to make a journal out of it. However, I did make this card. I'm going to just quickly do a flip through of it. It is, I believe she calls it Queen Bee. I'm just going to do a quick flip through of the pages that are included. There are a few extra pages that I didn't print off. They were like tea dye paper, and that I knew I just didn't need them. Some of these pages I'm not using today, but I'll just put this aside for when I can actually make my bee journal, which may never happen, but we can be hopeful. So these are some background pages. I am going to do this really quickly, but I will stop on the pages that I am going to use today. These are they're really pretty, and they're kind of, I'm going to say all over the board, but they're really bright. Like they have some yellows, some pinks. It was more the yellow pages that I'm going to be using today. This one's a blue. But aren't they cute? They're just adorable. But I wanted to use them for something other than a journal, and that's what I'm going to do today. Is that the same page? No, it's not. This is premium 32 paper. I think it's HTP premium 32 paper. It's not presentation paper yet. Anyways, I did print it as if it was on premium or presentation paper, which means that I guess it has more ink or something. I really don't understand how it works, but it's a little bit more brighter. This page is on the premium presentation paper, not the HP 32. Let me show you it. So these are the two papers I use the most. This is the premium 32. It's heavier, it's brighter. I use it even for jelly printing or gel printing. It's a wonderful paper. It is more expensive than normal printer paper, but it's not that expensive that I can't freely use it. This one I printed on the Epsom Premium Presentation Paper Matte. I'm sure that there are other ones out here that are just as good, but this absorbs the ink, so it looks just very vibrant. It's like a photo paper, but it's like a matte, and it's a little bit heavier. This is 44 pounds. Not quite cardstock, I guess, but it feels kind of like a cardstock. This one I'm actually going to be using today. I'm going to be using this side. That's why I did it on this, because it is going to be for a card. Aren't they adorable? They're just so cute. Again, these ones are on the premium 32, but I'm not going to be using them. This one I did print on the presentation paper because I'm actually going to be using this one today as well. And these are some background pages. And then some journaling cards and pockets, or whatever you want to use them for. I'm going to be using, I've already printed this out on premium on the presentation paper, and I've cut some out using my scanning cut. I'm going to use a couple of the bees on the inside, and I might put one of these on the outside of the card, like at the back. This is a Matchbox base, Matchbox wrap. Some for kits. I don't know if they all come with this, or maybe they're separate. I don't know, but she has because they're meant to be done every month. I have no desire to do that, but I really love this kit. So she has the July and then both ways. I guess this was July of 2024, I guess is when it came out, because this is July. I'm going to guess. On my original card, I actually used this Queen Bee on the front of the card. Today I'm going to have my own sentiment that I'm going to print off because I want it to match where I sit on the inside a little bit more. And that is her kit, minus the few extra tea dye background pages that she had. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to grab the 2 pages that I'm going to use, which you can tell are the brighter ones. And the rest will go in my bee, I have an actual bee, like, project case that I'm putting all my bee things in until I actually get around to making one. Now I'm also going to need for this, I'm using some old Stampin' Up! Ribbon, or I think I'm going to. This is, I think, in Crushed Curry. Probably, I'm sure it's not available anymore. This is years ago. As most of you know, I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for a while, and I love their products, but I ended up being my own best customer, and it just wasn't real. I couldn't buy things quick enough and use them quick enough to actually be able to sell any of it. So it didn't make sense to me anymore to continue being a demonstrator for selling purposes. For buying purposes, sure, but I don't believe that anything should be disposable. Like, if I buy something 5 years ago, I should still be able to use it now, regardless of whether, I don't need to have the most up-to-date, best things that are on the market. I want to use what I have, and that is perfectly fine with me. That's why I'm saying this kit was a while ago. I'm just getting around to using it now, but that's just too bad. I'm using a black card base. This is a 5x7 card, so it's obviously 10 inches by 7, and then I just scored it at 5 and made a card base out of it. I am going to layer it, so I have a layering base here. I'll go through the measurements in a minute. This is the one that I printed off that I'm going to just kind of stick on the back. This is the inside of the card that I typed up. It says, "Buzzing bees and flowers bright, wishing you healing, calm, and light. Though we missed you at the start, you've been right here in our hearts. Feel better soon, rest and rise with brighter days and clear blue skies." I printed this off actually I did this in Canva because I wanted that particular font, and then I printed off and cut out these 2 bees and just add them there for the inside. As well, I made some flowers, because on the front, I want these flowers to go on the front where the bee is. I want them just to go around here. So yes, I'm going to cover up the pretty flowers, but I wanted something with more dimension. So I picked out, I think these are Crushed Curry as well. It might be Bumblebee, which is a retired color that Stampin' Up! Had. I'm not sure, but I have loads and loads of cardstock here. And I just punched them out using a punch, but you could draw them. You might have something else. Like, this is obviously retired. I don't even know what stamp set it goes with. I punched out one out of the Crushed Curry, and then I did one out of just like pattern paper, just to make them look a little bit different. And there is a little tiny, well, not that small, embellishment right in the center. These are different from the original ones, the original card I did, but that's okay. They're going to go there, and then I have these bunch of little leaves that I did ink up with. I think these might be Evening Evergreen. I'm not really sure, but I just inked the edges up and then just wrapped them around a paintbrush to make them go a little curve, because I want a little bit of dimension. Same with these. This one I doubled the dimensionals on the back just so it popped out more, but I also put in between the layers stamping, what do you call those little dots, glue dots, but I rolled it so that it was a little bit thicker so that they would still pop up a little bit. And then I might glue these, because I do these a little weird. Most people do it so that they're outwards. The leaves come outwards, or the petals come outwards. I don't want that much dimension, but I do want a little bit of shape. So mine are kind of rolled under a little bit, but they're popped up. So if I put a little glue dot here, and then when I glue it, it actually has a really nice little dome on it, and that's what I want. And it feels really solid. I hope that made sense, but you'll see at the end. Put those all back in there. Now I'm just going to go and cut out the size that I need for these, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have everything cut down. The center panel, I just cut out this portion I wanted, and I knew I needed this 4x6, so I wanted this to be 4x6. Then I wanted it layered on the black, so the black is going to be 1/4 inch bigger. So it frames it nicely around. This one is going to be just a quarter of an inch smaller than the actual card base. So this is 5x7 card base, so it'd be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then this is going to go on top of it like this. Maybe I'll pop it up because I want to put the ribbon around the back, which you'll barely even see. But maybe by popping it up, you might see it a little bit better. For the front of the card, the sentiment for the front, I just typed up this "Be Better Soon." And I used this old, I have no idea where I put it. Oh, here it is. Punch. I don't even know what it's called. It's like Stampin' Up! Oval. I don't know. Layering ovals. I don't really know. But I doubt that it's available still. But when I printed it on plain white paper. I probably should have used cream colored paper, which I do have. Okay, I'm back. And I printed on, so I think this is actually Very Vanilla from Stampin' Up! And it will go on top of the black, and I think that looks a little bit better. But now that, since I brought out my vintage photo, I think I am going to just, well, you can call it distress, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but I think I'm just going to ink the edges of these pieces. For the flowers, I inked them with the crushed curry, just to make them, the petals stand out, but these I think I'll just do with some vintage photo. The unfortunate part about cutting it down is I did cut away a lot of the wording, but that's okay. It was really the picture that or the image, the focal image that I wanted. There is one more thing I want to do to that page before I glued it down. And that is I actually want to splatter some crushed curry on it. And before I make a mess of everything else, I don't want the splatter on anything else. I just want it on the main page, on this front focal image. Let me maybe find something to put underneath. I am just going to take my block, put some more of the ink on it. Little tiny spritz of water. And my fan brush. Take it out of the way just for a second. Perfect. You probably can't even see it, but you do see it. Set this aside just for a second to dry. Get rid of this before I put my hand in it. And now this one is where I want to put the ribbon. So you're not going to really even see much of the ribbon, just a little portion of it. But I have so much ribbon. One of these days I'm going to do a video of how I store it because I have ribbon and lace just galore. And it's all because I can't turn down a bargain. Okay. I think we're ready to put that down. Doesn't quite look like it's in the center though, does it? Perfect. Now I'm going to actually stick a glue dot down the center of it, only because I think I will pop up the next panel. So I don't want the ribbon to look like it's not attached. Now, where's my little thingy gone? There we go. Okay, put this one together. Okay, now the flowers. Now, I forgot to mention that on the flowers, I actually used Stella, just to make them a little bit sparkly. You probably, well, I can see it, but you might not be able to see them, but it's sparkly. Okay, so this one, as I said, I put 2 on, 2 dimensionals to make it really pop it up. I don't want to cover the bee's face, though. I think something like that. I'm going to leave them there. I'm just going to put some of these under little, I don't know what, the glue dots. But I'm just kind of rolling them, make them into a bigger dot. Oh, that one didn't quite get glued down yet. But that way I don't want it totally flat against the card. I just want, it gives that little tiny bit of dimension. Plus added security in case the glue didn't stick that well. Okay, now, as I said, you really can't see the rim that much, but it's okay. I'm just going to add this to the back, this little one of the fussy cuts from Amanda's kit. No particular reason, just because I liked it. And now I can put in the inside. I wanted to recreate this card, one, because I liked it, but two, because I actually gave all my cards away last summer to our trailer park owner, I guess. He was having a fundraiser for a young gentleman that needed to buy a new, accessible van. So I had hundreds of them, so I gave them to him to sell off in his store. And considering I know all he had left was the empty containers, so I think he did okay with them. Hopefully he made a few bucks. So I don't have any more cards, but it is nice to have a few. Plus, generally I'm making more 5x7s than the smaller card. One more thing I'd like to add to it is some kind of blingy stuff. Just let me check my stash. I think I used one of these last time. I think I used maybe the copper ones. And I think I will again. I think. Yeah, I think I will. Copper brown. Yeah, copper. A few of them here and there. So that is it. It's actually slightly nicer, I think, than the first one I did. Because I made just the embellishments are a little bit smaller, a little bit different. The inside I did these bigger ones. Yep, and I think I quite like that. It's nice and bright and cheerful. Has more dimension than my original one. So it'll be perfect to add to my stash. Of course, I could even decorate an envelope for it too. Okay, so that's it for today, but we will catch you really soon.